All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about groove and finding the pocket to try and jam in. And the example we're going to be using here is something like, kind of like Mustang Sally in the key of A. Now, this is just a straight kind of groove. But what we're going to do is we're going to really try and focus in on finding the pocket as we jam. So check this out. So basically with this track, which you're going to have available to jam to, the key is to try and feel the boom, da, boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba, da, do, ba, da. And what I always think about is it's like scat singing. I always think of like Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. So when you're hearing this, and for me, the big thing is that if you always remember, again, I know I talk about this quite a bit, but when you listen to a song, the first thing that's going to hit you is where do you tap your foot, or where do you snap your fingers, or where do you bob your head, right? So when I'm listening to this, I'm thinking dun, 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 dun. So my fretboard has the rhythmic availability of that rhythm. Bum, 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 bum. So I can play, whatever. Now, not overly exciting, but that's certainly step number one. Step number two is I double that. Dun, 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 dun. So that's kind of where the action begins, right? Okay, so between the first one, dun, 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 between those two worlds, I think about that rhythm, and I try and think about not playing, the most important thing is that you're not just always starting on a downbeat, right? Dun, dun. Sometimes you're on the offbeat. Bum, bum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum, right? Which actually puts you over here too, right? So dun, dun, da, da, dun, da, 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 dun, dun, dun. And again, I'm not thinking about these or these. I'm just thinking about the tempo and the fact that I'm going double time or half time. Right, whatever it might be. And then I've got a third category over here where I go from da 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 decka 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 decka, so I go twice as fast. Now that gets harder, obviously, because you have to be able to play faster. Now the nice thing is you can simply add in a few hammer-ons or pull-offs to kind of feed this beast over here in this fast space. So if you think about it, if I was playing here, and then see how I can just do a da-da-da-ba-dum-ba-da-dum by doing a hammer-on or a pull-off. See, and then of course, I've got various little patterns and things that I use for stuff like that, but I can move throughout those three tempos, if you will, or subdivisions, really should call those things, to create my solo. So it sounds really cool. And again, I'm not really thinking about a lick, although a lick might fit. There's no doubt I can make licks fit with that. But I'm more concentrating on just listening to that groove and connecting. maybe something, whatever, a little more dynamic at the end, or whatever it might be. But it's definitely something worth checking out and thinking about, is finding that groove. And always remind yourself that as you play these different styles, different tempos, different grooves, sometimes you got to spend a little time with them to kind of figure out, what feels comfortable, or kind of get your body and your mind in the right space to be able to do this sort of thing.